All right, here we go. All right. Hello, Victor Yarbrough. I know you're a busy, busy man. You're one of three of the Yarbrough brothers in a huge venture. Tell me a little bit about your brothers.
Hi, Rachel. Good afternoon. Yes, Victor Yarbrough, CEO of Brough Brothers Distillery. We have basically three brothers, myself, Bryson, and Chris. Bryson is the Chief Operating Officer. Chris is the Chief Marketing Officer. Bryson is also going to be our Master Distiller as well. So we've been working on this venture, well, for quite a long time, actually. We've been in the industry since 2012 in the UK and 2013 in the US. So we started off as an import company and exporting bourbon and moonshine to the United Kingdom, England, and Scotland. And we started to import English hard cider back to the U.S. So that's kind of how it started in terms of the actual industry itself. But growing up in Kentucky, we've always been around bourbon. We wanted to be able to, I guess, introduce that particular element to the UK, as well as introduce more African Americans to the industry. So that's kind of how we came about Brough Brothers.
We're going to talk about all of that in just a second. So I see the logo that you've got on your shirt right there. That's also the logo that you use on the bottle, and it's a representation of the three brothers, right?
It is, absolutely. So I think for us, we really want to push us and our story, as the brand of Brough Brothers. For us, we're we're educated, guys. We're high integrity, great moral values. So we want to, push us as the brand, because I think we impact people a lot more than more than just spirits.
Well, and the story behind it. So which one are you on the Brough Brothers there? Are you in?
I'm the old man in the middle, so you'll see.
The old man in the middle. You are the oldest of the brothers, right?
I'm the oldest. So I think when we designed our logo, we used a picture basically, and I think our hairstyles all changed a tad bit. So, but yes, and then Chris is on the right of me, and Bryson is on the left of me.
Well, let's talk about this because the story behind it really is compelling. With you all opening up this distillery in the West End, it makes you the first one in Louisville and in Kentucky. Is that correct? With African Americans?
That's correct. So yes, we're the first African American owned distillery in the state of Kentucky's history. It's never been an African American owned distillery. There's been a couple master distillers, or one particular, Dan Call, but there's never been actual ownership of an actual distillery. So we were first licensed in 2018 at a federal level, and we're just finishing out the local licensing right now, and we'll be opening very, very soon.
Do you feel that as far as the legacy that creates and the weight of history with that is a huge deal?
I mean, yes, we do. I think one of the key things for us, though, is it's been a long journey in a certain extent. So we're just, I think we're entrenched in making sure everything is accomplished and everything crosses the finish line. But at the same time, we did go into it with the intention of creating a legacy to where people can understand, hey, we can be ownership, have an ownership in this bourbon industry and create opportunities for other people. So that was always kind of the goal.
One thing that you had talked about, I guess one question I would ask, why hasn't it happened, do you think, before now? I mean, here it is 2020, and we're just seeing our first African American owned. Why do you think that is?
There's a combination of things. I think, key, it's a lot of regulatory hurdles. You think in the sense of civil rights as well. Civil rights just happened in the 1960s. To where we kind of give equitable, we couldn't drink from water fountains in the 60s, so same water fountain. So it wasn't until we were able to go through those particular movements that allows more opportunities. And it's kind of a manifestation of that, where we're standing on the shoulders of people before us, and we're just pretty much just carrying the torch. And the other aspect of it is financial as well. It's a high capital startup business, so you have to have the capital. And it's also regulatory. It's a lot of regulatory hurdles as well. So there's a combination of factors, but I think just over time we've kind of been able to, I guess, make that happen to a certain extent.
And tell us where this distillery is going to be, because again, it is Dixie Highway, correct?
Yes, 1460 Dixie Highway. So starting now, we're just fine tuning a few things, and we look to open up very soon.
And tell us how that was. I mean, you wanted it in the West End. There were reasons for that as well with you all, right?
Absolutely. So the West End of Louisville, if people aren't familiar with, it's a very, I guess, minority-driven community. A lot of African Americans. It's always historically been that way for a while. But one of the key concerns or key elements of the West End is that a lot of jobs were left that particular part of the city with manufacturing going to China. So there's a lot of lack of economic opportunities there. So we want to be able to come back into the community that we were raised in and provide economic opportunities for the community.
What kind of reaction have you been getting from neighbors, just out of curiosity?
A couple of mixed, reactions. And I say that not maliciously at all. It's just one of those things where you got to understand the context of the greater cultural environment of the West End, because there's a lot of liquor stores in the West End, and there's also a lot of churches. So you have the combination of clash between, the churches see that as, alcohol and church are kind of not synonymous. So you have a little bit of a culture clash there, and there's a lot of pushback against liquor stores. So for a while, a lot of our neighbors thought that we were a liquor store, and we had to, communicate with them and just educate them a little bit about actually, we're a distillery, we're manufacturing, we're not the same. We're actually going to be, creating jobs and manufacturing jobs. So it took us a while to win over a few of our neighbors because we literally have a church about a block away. So it took a while. So some of our neighbors were very, on board, and some of them weren't on board. But we're able
Interesting.
to, and there's different reasons. It was just
Right.
because, we thought we were a liquor store, basically. But so once we clear that up, we have a much better understanding now.
Well, and then to be an invested neighbor, like you said, to be the ownership and then to create the jobs. Did I read, and I don't know if it's true, so you school me if I'm not right on this, that you even had to convince your mom a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, because my mom's also a church, and the church, again, she's devout Christian. Alcohol and Christianity has always been kind of oil and water, even though Jesus, he drank wine. So it's just one of those things, really just educating and understanding that, hey, we're not really advocating people to go out and get, drinking. We're really advocating opportunities to build opportunities of economic success for people in the community.
Well, please tell me mama's on board now.
Yeah, she's on board. Well, everyone everyone wants to get on the train when it's moving, now never when it's so. Yeah, she's on board.
Tell me a little bit about the dynamics of you and your brothers, because when you all first started it, was it like, oh, this is a natural, the three of us will do this? But then on the other hand, I'm thinking, okay, if I did something with my siblings, that's a lot of time with siblings. Is the dynamic good? Did you all have to establish boundaries, or you
No,
guys have
no,
always all been like that?
yeah, it's a great dynamic. We've always so Bryce and I are the oldest. We're the closest in age, so we're a year and a half apart. We've always kind of had each other's back in terms of any type of opportunities. We've always had each other's back in terms of opportunities like that. Chris is a little bit younger; he's 7 years younger than us. So he kind of just, we got him invested. He follows our lead, particularly in terms of bringing us, forward with the family. So it's a great dynamic. Everyone kind of understands the importance of what's at stake, our roles, and we all look to execute them as flawlessly as we can.
So tell me, what is the biggest lesson you've learned about yourself in this? And then I'm going to ask you what you've learned about your brothers.
The largest lesson, uh, well, I think I've kind of seen the impact of dexterity, the level of dexterity that's needed to be able to accomplish this. We call it mission. So my brother's in the military, so we accomplish this mission. It takes a lot of dexterity. We've literally been going through the process for the actual get the distillery open for 2 years. We had to jump on numerous hurdles to be able to get to where we are. So it's a lot of dexterity, because a lot of those points were kind of those points where, hey, we could really just quit on it if we really didn't have the intestinal fortitude. But we set on the mission. We set the stakes that we know the stakes are high. So I think that's one of the things we kind of learned, is that how deep that we're able to dig to make sure we pull this thing out.
And I was going to say, and to do this during a pandemic, I mean, because this has been underway and then the pandemic hit, I'm assuming that's made it even more challenging.
It absolutely has, especially when the pandemic is, a lot of people are working from home now that aren't really necessarily used to working from home, and then we have a ton of inspections, so the inspectors have to be very cautious as well, and that's also a shortage of inspectors because of that. So
Right.
it's delayed us a little bit more than we would like, but we roll with the punches. Basically, we understand we understand that, hey, this is a pandemic, this is a once in a lifetime thing that's occurred. I guess since 1918. So
Right.
we are very well aware of what's happening, and we just have to work with it. But it's an extra challenge.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about the bourbon itself, the taste, the cost, and what you're hoping people, I guess, get from that when they take that first taste of Brough Brothers.
Yeah, so for Bro Brothers, what we wanted to do this particular first brand, our first launcher, is actually it's more of a, I guess we want everyone to be able to receive it. It's not necessarily a connoisseur bourbon. It's for people who are new to the bourbon, people who enjoy just drinking, really. So what we like to do is it's a more of a mild fruity flavor. So apple and pear notes on it, a little bit of on the nose. You'll taste the rye. I mean, smell the floral, but there's a little bit of rye on the actual taste as well at the end. So you get a spicy bit. But what we want to do is create a bourbon that's well received to the masses, and I think we've hit that just based on the feedback we've gotten from the community from Kentucky, Tennessee as well. So we're expanding to other states right now as well. So we think in terms of the actual flavor of the bourbon, I think people enjoy it very well. They love to mix it. They love to sip it. It's a lot of things you can do with it.
And
So right now,
price point's really reasonable too,
yeah,
right?
it's very reasonable. So you can find it between, I think we priced it about $26.99, between $26.99 and $27.99. So you'll find it around that range.
And I know you can get it at the Fraser History Museum and our gift shop, and then other places locally as well, correct?
Absolutely. So with whether you're in Kentucky, pretty much anywhere in Kentucky, you can grab it. You'll grab it in Tennessee. I'll let this news out. We just finished the contracts with this, but you'll get in Texas very soon,
Oh,
as well as
wonderful.
Florida and Georgia. And we've got some other deals in the works, but we're looking to get this in many states as possible as pretty quickly. And if you're international, you can get in the United Kingdom as well.
And not just bourbon, you do other products too, correct?
Yeah, so we're working to produce a gin and a vodka. So those won't probably release till next year. But we do have another bourbon that will be released later in the year as well.
And will that have the same logo so people know
It'll-
that that becomes that identifiable with you all?
You will have the key identifiers in the logo label, but it won't be the same label. But
Yeah,
you'll
because I
have some
think
key
you did
identifiers.
like the one that we have in the store has the city state, but
Yeah.
where there will be some nuances in some of those bottles, right?
Absolutely. So they'll each have some nuances, different characteristics to them, depending on how we're promoting that particular bourbon. So you'll see some changes in it, but you'll definitely be able to, from the artistic style, almost if you see like a Picasso or Degas, you'll be able to say, hey, this is a Picasso or this is Degas, or you'll be able to identify our actual bottle.
As Derby comes up, I know it's a different kind of Derby, and but are you feeling that to go? I'm assuming that our product is out probably for your first Derby, correct? As far as that,
It
and
is.
what do you think about that?
I think it's I guess an exciting opportunity. This is a weird derby, with the pandemic. We have this, what's going on right now in the city with the Breonna Taylor issue as well. So it's definitely an awkward derby. So it's kind of bittersweet, kind of knowing what's happening behind the scenes in the city. But we still want to be able to, I guess, provide a light. And I think that's one of the things the city needs right now. It's kind of a shining light to help boost the morale a bit.
So when you say that being the shining light, just because you're the first, and
Mhm.
hopefully people taking pride in that and realizing if we can do this, somebody else can do this.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we definitely want to spur or spark other people to take interest or to basically kind of grow maybe on what we're doing to help expand it, to take along whatever ideas we may put forth, take it and mold it and create something different as well. But yeah, we just want to create a spark basically,
Well,
a blueprint.
congratulations. And final question I wanted to ask you, if somebody's out there watching this video and they said, give me your best life lesson from this or piece of advice, what would it be to somebody else out there who's like, you know what, if the Bro Brothers can do it, maybe I can too?
It's a couple of things I would say. Make sure your foundation is very strong. Don't rush your foundation. Foundation meaning understanding what you're getting into in terms of maybe regulatory legislation, whatever it takes, whatever industry you want to get into. Build a strong foundation. Understand that industry. Educate yourself as full as possible. So that way, anything that comes along, you'll still have a strong foundation. The other thing is that there's never a perfect time to start. So if you're always for us, I'll take an example. I was like, well, I need more cash. I need to earn more cash so I can invest in our company. But it was always never enough cash. So we just had to just roll with what we had, basically.
Is
So I
there
think
faith involved in that when you do that?
it is, you make sure, you pray at night. And my wife makes sure she prays for her night as well to make sure that we don't lose time. So, but it absolutely is. I think we do have some God's favor, grant us some favor in terms of some of the things that have been occurring. So I
Well,
definitely
all I can say is, we've been in talks because I know we're going to bring a bourbon program with you all here to the Fraser when the time is right. But I can't tell you how happy I am for you and your brothers, and congratulations, you've got a new baby in the middle of all of this too. So let's just
yeah,
say that. I mean, if you waited for the right time, it might not have been this year.
that's what I mean. So the timing, it's always just have to do it. Never is going to be a perfect time. So, we definitely appreciate you taking the time out and speaking with us. We definitely look forward to working with you guys in the future. We're excited to get that going, the partnership going, and it's just a matter of with the COVID. Hopefully, we'll get to the end of this a new normal fairly soon, so we can get things back on track.
Well, congratulations and happy Derby to you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
All right, Victor, take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.